From the studios in San Diego, California, this is Frank Fired Up here on the Mixed Up Sports Network, coming to you live here on this Monday. It is the 5th day of June 2017 as we get set to go today. A busy show today. I know I said I'd be on Friday. Uh, Packing and stuff got in the way. So we are on today as we look, of course, through the NBA Finals, which have been an absolute disaster up to this point. The Stanley Cup Finals, which got really, really interesting over the course of the weekend, and the Mets and Yankees, one of them, well, really, both of them, had the weekend you would have expected. Neither one of them played today, but we will begin today with the NBA Finals, and I'll tell you what, I understand that when Cleveland fell down 2 games to none last year, that they had a bigger point differential. They were in the lead a little bit more going into game 3. But here's one thing you have to remember, and here's one thing you have to realize. This is nowhere near the same Golden State Warrior team that played last year. Everybody wants to look at the numbers, but nobody wants to look at the teams. This is not the same team. This is a better team than what the Golden State Warriors were last year. Okay. This kind of deficit for the Golden State Warriors for the Cleveland Cavaliers, very, very well could be insurmountable. The Cavs have been, for the first game, they could not steal the ball. The second game, they were a lot better with that. They had 15 steals, 10 of them in the first half in the second game, but they did not have a one. They had, what was it, 8 turnovers in the first half of game 1. It was an absolute disaster, was game 1 for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the now it has trickled over to game 2. Okay. LeBron is playing well. 12 for 18 last night, 4 for 5 from the free throw line, 11 boards, 14 assists. LeBron is doing his job. The man who's not doing his job, which was the key to the run last year, is Kyrie Irving. Irving shot 8 for 23 last night and only had 7 assists and 19 points. Folks, if Kyrie Irving is not going, neither is Cleveland. Cleveland has a major problem if Kyrie Irving is not working. Kevin Love, 12 for 23, 2 for 7 from 3, 7 boards. Not bad at all. 27 points. He was second on the team, behind a you know who. But the guy who has been the star of the series, which is what he needed to be. Remember, we said last week that the only way that the oh well you went to the best team in the league, you just rode their coattails all year long and won yourself a championship. The only way he was going to be able to get out from under that, speaking of Kevin Durant, is if he went on to win Finals MVP, and right now he looks like he's got that in the bag. He had another 30-point game. He shot 13 for 22, 13 rebounds last night, 6 assists, 5 blocks, 3 steals. Kevin Durant is playing like the missing piece that Golden State needed last year. So give credit to Kevin Durant where credit is due, because he has definitely earned his keep in this series. He is making himself seem valuable, and to be perfectly honest, what he's also doing is he's making the MVP voting look like a sham. As we've said all season long, pardon me, as we said all season long, Russell Westbrook has done nothing for the team. Everything that Russell Westbrook has done was to benefit himself. And what Kevin Durant has been doing in these finals is making Russell Westbrook look worse. Because if you're Russell Westbrook, everyone's sitting there looking at you going, you could not give this guy more shots? Really? He's getting the shots that he needs. He's getting better looks. Durant is killing it right now. Thus, the Golden State Warriors are killing it. I thought Cleveland in 6, folks. I'm beginning to believe the people that were saying Golden State in 5. I'm sure the Cavs will take one of the games in Cleveland. With the way they've played, though, this series, with the way LeBron James has been outmuscled, the way that Golden State has been shooting, I don't see them losing. I really don't. What did Golden State have? 19 points on the fast break at the end of the first half. Cleveland clawed that number back. It ended 31-30 on the fast break. Golden State. They got into a fast break war with Golden State and actually came out just -1, which is absurd. 59 rebounds to 45 in favor of Golden State. Wasn't Cleveland's advantage down low with guys like Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love and LeBron who could rebound incredibly well? Wasn't that their advantage? Wasn't that Cleveland's advantage? Assists with Kyrie Irving, wasn't that Cleveland's advantage also? And and just to think, just to show you how good the Golden State Warriors are, Golden State doubled Cleveland in turnovers. Golden State had 20 turnovers to Cleveland's 9, and they still won by 19. You don't turn the ball over 11 more times than your opponent and still win if you're a normal team. We all know Golden State is not a normal team. But you didn't think they were that abnormal. Abnormal. It's incredible what Golden State is doing. It really is. And at the same time, honestly, at the same time, they're killing the NBA. They really are. Dynasties, here's the thing. Dynasties are not a bad thing. I don't mind dynasties. But when there's only one team that can compete against that dynasty, that's when you have a problem. And when that dynasty is showing that the one team that everyone thinks can compete against them can't compete against them, then that's even worse. Dynasties for sports are not bad. But when there's only one team in the league that remotely has a chance at winning the championship, that's not good either. That's not good. Oh, once Cleveland plays Golden State, then we'll see a challenge. Where's the challenge coming from? They've lost both games by a total of what, 42 points? Where is this challenge coming from? I don't see where the challenge is. Cuz right now Golden State is walking through Cleveland. This Golden State team, if like it or not, this Golden State team is going to be a dynasty. And I don't mind that. The problem lies with how many teams can compete with them. And right now, none, which is not good. So when the Yankees had their dynasty, they had what, seven, eight other teams that can compete against them from both leagues. They did not play one team twice in the World Series during that run, during the most recent dynasty. They did not play one team twice. Hell, they even played the Padres. They didn't last long against the Yankees, but they played the Padres. Golden State against in this dynasty, Golden State has faced San Antonio, which really hasn't been any competition, really wasn't this year, and Cleveland, who proved to be competition this year or last year, but has proved to be absolutely nothing this year. They're 14-0 in the postseason. They haven't lost a game since March. For those of you who can't add, that's 3 months ago was the last time they lost a game. Which is absolutely absurd. Dynasties are good. It gives the other team something to shoot for. But when no other team is close, then what the hell's the point? Oh, that's right. There is none. Now, really quick to the NHL. Stanley Cup Finals Game 4 tonight in about an hour and 45 minutes from now. I'm screwed, to be perfectly honest. Because of all these stupid days off in between the games in the NBA Finals, I was actually getting excited because I'm going on the plane tomorrow. I'll be on the plane at about 1 o'clock Pacific time, and I won't get to New York until about 9:30 Eastern. I figured, okay, first part of the flight's going to be a little bit of a bore, but there's some things I can watch. I know highly questionable and PTI and around the horn. I know I can watch that. And then I'm like, oh, great. I can't watch the Met game. I can't watch the Yankees. I'm thinking, okay, great. I can at least watch the Stanley Cup Finals game, Game 4. Oh, no, never mind. They don't have all the stupid days off like the NBA does, so they're going to play tonight. I'm like, oh, man. There goes the last hour and a half, 2 hours of that flight. Is there a Monday night baseball game on? Please, for the Tuesday night baseball. Doesn't somebody have Tuesday night baseball on national television? Tell me it's like Fox or something, please. Or actually, it just might be the Yankees because the Yankees are going to be playing Boston. It might just be the Yankees. Who would have thought going into 2017 that we'd be talking about a series for first place between the Yankees and the Red Sox in the at the beginning of June? I know I certainly didn't think so. What did I say at the beginning of this year? I thought this team was going to struggle to win 75 games. Boy, they proved me wrong. Trying to get this up here. Oh, that's, I don't know, that's tomorrow. No, MLB Network. Darn it. I'm going to have nothing to watch tomorrow. Yep, I got nothing. I got, no, got nothing in the way of sports to watch tomorrow on the plane. No. Oh, no. Come on. Uh, maybe I'll get lucky and they'll show a replay of something. I don't know. God, picked a Tuesday to fly. Goodness. But anyway, back to where we started with the Stanley Cup Finals. Game three, I think that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Nashville. Let's get in front of our home crowd. Let's light the place up. Start Pecorine, which was a smart move. I said that on Thursday. You start Pecorine in game three. You don't move away from that. You start Rene in game three, which they did. He gives up a lazy little goal in the first 3 minutes. But after that, he was solid, a lot of work, which is important for goalies. Listen, they can't shoot if they can't score if they don't shoot. That's understandable, but you can't stop the puck if you're not seeing pucks on a consistent basis. That's what the problem has been for Nashville. Their defense has been so good. Rene is not seeing any shots. As a goalie, you have to see some shots in order to get your reflexes in and keep them in. Rene did a fantastic job. That the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, that place is stupidly electrifying. It is unbelievable the atmosphere that those people in Nashville can create. It is daunting. And after every goal, you hear that chant, that daunting, that haunting chant of Murray. And it's the entire arena. There's not one person not doing it. I mean, the atmosphere that Nashville has created in that arena is terrifying for opposing teams. And you got to think they're just along for the ride right now because they were a number two wild card team facing Chicago in the first round. Never thought they'd get past Chicago. Well, guess what? They got past Chicago, St. Louis, and Anaheim for the second straight year. Now they're in the finals, and they are pegged to the nines. Is that crowd? But game three was exactly what the doctor ordered for Nashville. Your goaltender has a good game. You get into that Bridgestone Arena, which has to be a terrifying place for opposing players. Give Rene some confidence, put some pucks in the back of the net. That's a game that can turn a series around completely. They go for game four tonight, so they will definitely look to keep that going. I don't see a reason why they couldn't. Roman Yossi and James Neal both have 6 goals this postseason. They both scored in the second period of game three. I'll tell you what, if Nashville can feed off of that, they will do just fine in this postseason. They will do just fine. Now to the Mets and Yankees. The Yankees on Friday and Saturday found some power. Those 4 home runs against Jason Grilli in what was it, the seventh inning on Saturday. Really sealed that game. Pineda's been pitching well. Severino pitched well. Sabathia again. He's climbed into the way back machine. He's pulling out some vintage CC Sabathia performances that can only help his standing with the Yankees this season. They start a 3 game series against Boston starting tomorrow in Boston. And again, like I said a couple minutes ago, that is a first place series. Boston's 2 games behind the Yankees. And Boston's coming off of a successful series of their own against Baltimore. The Mets, on the other hand, they have the day off today as well. They will start a 2 game series against the Texas Rangers tomorrow. Now, the Mets, the Mets are in a situation where pretty much they are what they are. It's going to be a while before they get any of their big players back. It's been a disaster as of late. You lose 2 out of 3 to Pittsburgh. They score 12 and 11 on you in the 2 games that they won. I mean, it's just it's not been a good time if you're a Met fan. For a year where the expectations were high, this has been as disappointing a year as you can get. And 7 games under 500 in June. Missing Cespedes, missing Mats, missing Lugo, missing Syndergaard. Not good. Not good at all. For the Yankees tomorrow, it'll be Masahiro Tanaka versus Drew Pomeranz. Pomeranz is 5-3 with a 4.24 ERA. Tanaka 5-5 with a 6.34. Tanaka, if Tanaka wants a chance to come back to the Yankees next year, he's going to have to really turn it around. He is going to really, really have to turn it around. Um, okay, I've clicked something wrong here, and apparently, if you're looking for tickets to the Mets Rangers game in Arlington, you can sit in section 302, upper deck in the infield, or 320 rather, upper deck in the infield, right around midway down the third baseline for $6. So if anyone's interested in that, you go on and have fun. I don't know why it's not showing me. Stupid thing's not showing me the probables. I believe it's DeGrom. I believe it's DeGrom going for the Mets tomorrow. I couldn't tell you who was going for Texas. Um, let's see here. Yes, it is. It's DeGrom. Oh, there you go. Jacob DeGrom versus Dylan G. So there you go. That should be a win for tomorrow. That should be a win tomorrow. Then again, ex-Met pitchers always have a tendency to always turn up the wick when they're playing us. So you never know. So Dylan G versus Jacob DeGrom tomorrow, and then Zach Wheeler versus Yu Darvish on Wednesday. Mets will have Friday off before they go to Atlanta, and then they're home for Chicago. We actually have tickets to the June 13th game, which is a Tuesday. Uh, I've done, I've worked it out, and as of right now, it'll be Zach Wheeler pitching for the Mets on Tuesday the 13th. So that's what you got. Over the course of the weekend, you had New York City FC defeat the Philadelphia Union 2-1. The Montreal Impact over the Red Bulls 1-0. Both teams will play on Wednesday. They're playing each other. So New York City FC will take on the New York Red Bulls on Wednesday. I believe that game will be at Red Bull Arena. Yes, it is at Red Bull Arena. It's going to be a U.S. Open Cup fourth round match. Last 5 meetings between the two teams. July 24th of last year, New York, the Red Bulls won 4-1. July 3rd of last year, New York City FC won 2-0. May 21st of last year, it was the Red Bulls by a score of 7-0. August 9th, 2015, Red Bulls 2-0, and then June 28th, 2015, Red Bulls 3-1. So the Red Bulls have won all but one of the last 5 meetings between the two teams. Also, you had the UEFA Champions League final this past weekend. Real Madrid of Spain versus Juventus from Italy. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring 2 goals, one in the 20th and one in the 64th. Real Madrid beats Juventus 4-1. Mario Mandzukic scoring for Juve with an absolutely beautiful strike. Real Madrid also getting a goal in the 90th minute, just for a little bit of extra insurance. This weekend, you also had NASCAR. Starting from Friday, all 3 of the major series were at Dover. Johnny Sauter wins the truck race. From Kaz Grala, Grant Infinger, Ben Rhodes, and Austin Cindric, the top 5. The Xfinity race on Saturday, Kyle Larson leads 137 of the 200 laps. He takes the win. Ryan Blaney second, Daniel Suarez third, Cole Custer, Ryan Reed, the top 5. And then from yesterday's race, Jimmy Johnson, who led but 7 laps the entire race, beats Kyle Larson, who led 241 of the 400 laps run, well, the 406 laps run after gone to overtime. Martin Truex Jr., who led 102, Ryan Newman and Chase Elliott, the top 5. Kyle Larson, his 5th second place finish of the year, and as a Larson fan, I want to bash my head through the wall. 2 races for the IRL IndyCar Series in Detroit, around in the streets of Detroit. 1 race on Saturday, 1 race on Sunday. Both of them won by Graham Rahal, Scott Dixon, James Hinchcliffe, Joseph Newgarden, Alexander Rossi. The top 5 from Saturday's race: Graham Rahal, Joseph Newgarden, Will Power, Takuma Sato, and Simon Pagenaud. The top 5 from Sunday's second race. So that'll do it for us for the next 2 weeks. I hope you guys enjoy the remainder of the NBA Finals. Keep up on Facebook, keep up on Twitter for my thoughts on what is going on in the world of sports, and I will see you guys on Monday, June 19th.